Captain Jake Morris sat in his command chair aboard the space station Defender, watching the stars through the main window. It was just another normal day protecting Earth's outer space borders. The coffee in his cup was still warm when the communication system started beeping loudly. "Sir, we have an incoming message from outside our solar system," said Lieutenant Dan Carter, his face showing worry. "The signal is very strong, and using technology we have never seen before." Jake put down his coffee and walked to the main screen. "Put it through, Dan." The screen filled with the image of a tall alien creature with dark blue skin and yellow eyes. The creature wore a uniform covered in strange symbols and metals. When it spoke, its voice was cold and full of anger. "I am Admiral Zektar of the Draconian Galactic Empire. Your primitive world has been chosen to join our great empire. You have 72 hours to surrender completely. Give up your weapons, your governments, and prepare for our arrival. If you resist, we will destroy your planet and make slaves of any survivors." The message ended abruptly, leaving Jake and his crew staring at the blank screen in shock. Jake had trained for many situations, but never for this. He immediately sent the message to Earth Defense Command on Luna Base. Admiral Lisa Grant was eating lunch in her office when Jake's urgent transmission arrived. She was a tough woman who had served in the Earth Defense Fleet for 20 years. Nothing usually surprised her, but this message made her drop her sandwich. "Get me President Ryan Clark right now," she told her assistant, "and call an emergency meeting of the United Earth Council. We have a big problem." Within 2 hours, the most important leaders of Earth were gathered in the council room on Luna Base. President Clark, a calm man with gray hair, sat at the head of the table. Around him were generals, scientists, and government officials from every major nation on Earth. Dr. Amy Foster, Earth's top expert on alien life, studied the message carefully. She was a young woman with thick glasses who spent most of her time looking for signs of life in space. She never expected to find it like this. "The technology in this transmission is far beyond anything we have," she told the council. "They can send messages faster than light, which means they probably have ships that can travel faster than light too. If they have been building an empire for thousands of years, they must be very powerful." General Pete Walsh, the head of Earth's military forces, slammed his fist on the table. "I don't care how powerful they are. No one threatens Earth and gets away with it." President Clark raised his hand for silence. "Let's think about this carefully. What do we know about their military strength?" Before anyone could answer, another alarm sounded. A massive alien ship had appeared at the edge of the solar system just past Pluto. The ship was huge, bigger than any human-made vessel. It looked like a metal mountain floating in space, covered with weapons and strange lights. Colonel Ben Hayes was on duty at the Mars Defense Station when the alien ship arrived. He was an experienced officer who had spent years watching space for any threats to Earth. His instruments started going crazy as soon as the ship appeared. "This thing is enormous," he reported to Admiral Grant. "It's at least 5 miles long and 2 miles wide. The energy readings are off the charts." On the alien ship, Commander Velnash looked at the small human planets with disgust. He was Admiral Zektar's second-in-command, a warrior who had conquered dozens of worlds. To him, humans were just another weak species that would soon bow before the Empire's power. "Send them another message," he ordered his communications officer. "Tell them their time is running out." The second message was even more threatening than the first. Commander Velnash appeared on screens all over Earth, his red eyes glowing with anger. "Humans, you have 50 hours left to surrender. Do not test our patience. We have destroyed civilizations that were far stronger than yours. Your weapons are toys compared to our power. Submit now or face complete destruction." But while the aliens were making threats, Earth scientists were working hard. Engineer Katie Ross was studying the energy patterns from the alien ship. Katie was brilliant with technology and had helped design Earth's newest weapon systems. "Admiral Grant, I think I found something important," Katie reported from her laboratory. "Their ship's shields work on a specific frequency. Our new quantum disruptors might be able to break through them." Admiral Grant felt a spark of hope. The quantum disruptors were Earth's latest weapon technology. They had been developed to destroy asteroids and clear space debris, but they might work against alien shields too. President Clark called another emergency meeting. This time he had made a decision that would shock the galaxy. "We are not surrendering," he announced. "Instead, we are officially banning the draconian Galactic Empire from entering our solar system. Any of their ships that cross our borders will be treated as enemies and destroyed." The council room was silent for a moment. Then General Walsh started clapping, and soon everyone was applauding. Earth would not go quietly into slavery. The message was sent to Commander Velnash immediately. When he heard it, the alien commander laughed so hard that his whole ship shook. "These humans think they can ban us?" he said to his officers. "We who have conquered 1,000 worlds? This will be amusing. Prepare the fleet for attack. We will show them what happens to species that defy the Empire." But Commander Velnash did not know about Katie Ross and her quantum disruptors. He did not know about the courage of humans like Jake Morris and Lisa Grant. Most importantly, he did not know that Earth would rather fight and die free than live as slaves. The first war between Earth and the Galactic Empire was about to begin. Commander Velnash was very angry after hearing Earth's refusal to surrender. He had never seen such disrespect from a primitive species. Standing on the bridge of his massive warship, he looked at his 12 smaller attack ships floating nearby, in space. "Move forward toward their planet," he ordered his fleet captains. "These humans will see our power and beg for mercy. They always do." But Commander Velnash did not know that Captain Jake Morris was already waiting for him. Jake had moved his 3 Earth ships to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. His ships were the EDS Defiance, EDS Liberty, and EDS Courage. They were much smaller than the alien vessels, but they were fast and carried Katie Ross's new quantum disruptor weapons. Lieutenant Dan Carter was nervous as he watched the alien ships approach on his radar screen. "Captain, there are 12 of them and only 3 of us. Maybe we should call for backup." Jake shook his head. "No time for that, Dan. Besides, Admiral Grant is counting on us to test these new weapons. Let's see what Earth technology can do." The alien ships moved slowly through space like giant metal beasts. They were beautiful in a scary way, with smooth curves and glowing energy weapons. Commander Velnash was sure the humans would run away as soon as they saw his fleet's power. "Fire warning shots at the human ships," he commanded. "Show them we could destroy them easily if we wanted to." Bright energy beams shot out from the alien weapons, missing Jake's ships on purpose. The beams were so powerful they melted a nearby asteroid into liquid rock. Commander Velnash smiled, waiting for the humans to panic and surrender. Instead, Jake Morris gave an order that shocked the galaxy. "All ships fire quantum disruptors. Let's show them what happens when you threaten Earth." The 3 human ships fired their new weapons at the same time. Blue energy beams shot across space and hit the alien shields. For a moment, nothing happened. Then something amazing occurred. The alien shields started flickering and sparking like broken lights. "Impossible!" shouted Commander Velnash. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." But Katie Ross had been right about the shield frequency. The quantum disruptors tore through the alien protection like paper. 3 alien ships exploded in bright flashes of light. 2 more ships spun out of control, their engines smoking and damaged. The remaining alien ships quickly moved backward, trying to escape the human weapons. Commander Velnash could not believe what he was seeing. His advanced fleet was running away from 3 small human ships. Jake watched the aliens retreat and felt proud of his crew. "Good work, everyone, but this is just the beginning. They'll be back with more ships." On the alien command ship, Commander Velnash was making an emergency call to Admiral Zektar. His hands were shaking as he spoke. "Admiral, the humans have weapons that can break our shields. 3 of our ships are destroyed and 2 more are badly damaged. I request permission to retreat and wait for reinforcements." Admiral Zektar's yellow eyes burned with rage. "You let primitive humans damage Imperial ships? This is impossible. Retreat immediately. I will come personally with a real fleet to crush these insects." Back on Earth, people were celebrating in the streets. The news of their victory spread quickly. But Admiral Lisa Grant knew this was only the first battle in a long war. "Attention all military personnel," she announced over the communication system. We have won the first fight. But the aliens will return with many more ships. We must prepare Earth for the real battle. General Pete Walsh immediately started building defenses around the solar system. Workers on space stations began making more quantum disruptors as fast as possible. Factories on Earth, Mars, and the Moon worked day and night to produce weapons and shield generators. Dr. Amy Foster and engineer Katie Ross worked together to study the pieces of destroyed alien ships. They discovered something very interesting about the Empire's technology. These aliens have not improved their weapons in hundreds of years, Katie told Amy. They became too proud and stopped trying to make better equipment. That's why our new disruptors work so well against their old shields. Amy nodded as she looked at alien computer parts under her microscope. They probably never met anyone who could fight back before. Every other species just gave up without trying. Meanwhile, Captain Jake Morris was training new pilots to fight alien ships. He taught them to use asteroids for cover and to attack fast before retreating. The human ships were smaller, but they could move much quicker than the big alien vessels. Remember, Jake told his students, we can't match their firepower, but we can outsmart them. Use their size against them. They're like elephants trying to catch mice. Colonel Ben Hayes was installing defense platforms throughout the solar system. These automated weapons could fire quantum disruptors without needing human crews. He placed them near important planets and space stations. 3 weeks later, Earth's long-range sensors detected something terrifying. A huge alien fleet was approaching the solar system. There were over 200 ships, including massive vessels, that could destroy entire planets. Admiral Zektar himself was leading this fleet in his personal warship called the Dominator. It was 5 times larger than any ship the humans had seen before. Its weapons could crack a planet's surface like an eggshell. Katie Ross studied the sensor readings and felt scared for the first time since the war began. Admiral Grant, they have enough firepower to destroy every planet in our solar system. How can we fight against so many ships? Admiral Grant looked at the young engineer with determination. We fight the same way David fought Goliath in the old stories. We use our brains instead of our muscles. Earth has never surrendered to bullies, and we're not starting now. The largest space battle in human history was about to begin. Admiral Zektar's massive fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system like a dark cloud blocking out the stars. His flagship, the Dominator, was so large that it had its own gravity. The ship could destroy planets by cracking them open like nuts. Around it, over 200 alien warships waited for orders to attack. On the bridge of the Dominator, Admiral Zektar looked at Earth through his main screen. He was an old alien warrior who had conquered more worlds than he could count. His dark blue skin was covered in battle scars, and his yellow eyes burned with anger. Send one final message to these foolish humans, he ordered. Tell them the Emperor himself has commanded their destruction. They have one last chance to surrender. The message reached Earth within minutes. Admiral Zektar's face appeared on every screen across the planet. His voice was cold and full of hate. Humans, you have defied the greatest empire in the galaxy. Your resistance ends now. Surrender immediately or we will turn your planet into dust and rocks. No species has ever won against us. Your defeat is certain. But President Ryan Clark was ready with Earth's answer. He stood in the communications center on Luna Base, surrounded by Earth's military leaders. His response was broadcast not just to the alien fleet, but to every corner of the galaxy. Admiral Zektar, Earth will never bow to tyrants. We would rather die fighting than live as slaves. To all the world suffering under your empire's rule, know this: resistance is possible. Freedom can win against tyranny. The message reached dozens of planets under alien control. For the first time in centuries, people on those worlds began to hope. Some even started planning rebellions against their alien rulers. Admiral Zektar was furious when he heard Earth's defiant response. "Attack immediately!" he screamed. "Destroy every human ship. Show the galaxy what happens to those who resist us." The alien fleet moved forward like a wall of death. Their ships were beautiful and terrible, covered in weapons that could melt mountains. But Captain Jake Morris was ready for them. Jake had positioned his ships throughout the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The space rocks provided perfect cover for hit-and-run attacks. His 3 original ships had been joined by 20 more human vessels. all equipped with quantum disruptors. "Remember the plan," Jake told his captains over the radio. "Hit them, fast and run. Don't try to fight them head-on. Use the asteroids like a maze." The first alien ships entered the asteroid field expecting to blast their way through easily. Instead, they found themselves in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Human ships would appear from behind large asteroids, fire their quantum disruptors, and disappear before the aliens could shoot back. Engineer Katie Ross had worked for weeks to prepare a special surprise. She had hidden quantum mines throughout the asteroid belt. When the alien ships tried to destroy asteroids to clear a path, the mines exploded in chain reactions that damaged multiple vessels at once. "It's working," Katie reported to Admiral Grant from her control station. "The aliens are losing ships faster than they expected. Their big size is hurting them in the narrow spaces between asteroids." Admiral Zektar watched in growing anger as his powerful fleet struggled against the clever human tactics. His ships were designed to fight in open space, not in the crowded asteroid field. Every time his captains tried to use their superior firepower, human ships would disappear behind space rocks. "Send in the planet killer ships," he ordered. "Blast every asteroid to pieces. Clear the entire field." But Dr. Amy Foster had been working on her own secret project. She had learned how to hack into the alien communication system using modified human computer codes. As the planet killer ships moved forward, she sent false orders through their network. "Enemy fleet, turn left, immediately," her fake message said in the alien language. "Friendly ships in your firing path." The confused alien captains turned their massive weapons and accidentally fired on their own vessels. Explosions lit up space as alien ships destroyed each other by mistake. Colonel Ben Hayes led the most dangerous mission of the war. He took 5 human ships disguised as space debris and headed straight for Admiral Zektar's flagship. The ships looked like broken pieces of destroyed vessels, but they carried the most powerful quantum bomb ever built. "This is crazy," muttered his co-pilot, Lieutenant Sam Parker. "That ship is 5 miles long. How are we supposed to get close enough?" Ben smiled grimly. "We're going to pretend we're already dead, float in with the rest of the wreckage and hope they don't notice us." The plan worked perfectly. The Dominator was so busy directing the battle that its sensors didn't detect the disguised human ships. Ben's team drifted close to the massive alien vessel, hiding among the pieces of destroyed ships. When they were close enough, Ben's ship suddenly came alive and raced toward the Dominator's reactor core. The alien defenders tried to stop them, but it was too late. "For Earth," Ben shouted as his ship crashed into the flagship's main engine. The quantum bomb exploded with the power of a small star. The Dominator, the pride of the alien fleet, split in half and died in space. Admiral Zektar's last message was a scream of rage and disbelief. The explosion was so bright it could be seen from Earth. The shockwave damaged dozens of nearby alien ships and sent others spinning out of control. Without their leader, the alien fleet began to panic. Captain Jake Morris saw his chance. "All ships attack now. Don't let them reorganize." Human vessels poured out of the asteroid field like angry bees. Their quantum disruptors tore through alien shields and armor. Ship after ship exploded or surrendered as the Empire's mighty fleet fell apart. The battle that was supposed to be humanity's end became the Empire's greatest defeat. Over half the alien ships were destroyed or damaged. The survivors retreated, in disorder, running back toward the edge of the solar system. On Earth, people watched the battle through telescopes and cheered as the alien fleet fled. They had done the impossible. They had defeated the most powerful empire in the galaxy. But Admiral Lisa Grant knew this was just the beginning. "Send messages to every free world in the galaxy," she ordered. "Tell them Earth stands ready to help anyone who wants to fight for their freedom." The war was far from over, but for the first time in 3,000 years, the draconian Galactic Empire had been beaten. The galaxy would never be the same. The news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. On planets that had been under alien rule for hundreds of years, people could hardly believe what they were hearing. The mighty draconian Galactic Empire had been defeated by a small blue planet called Earth. Emperor Drakthul was the most powerful being in the galaxy. He lived on a massive space station called the Imperial Throne, surrounded by millions of ships and soldiers. When he heard about Admiral Zektar's defeat, his rage shook the entire station. "Impossible!" he roared, his red eyes glowing like fire. "No primitive species can defeat my empire. Gather every ship in the galaxy. I will personally destroy these humans and make an example of them." The Emperor began pulling ships from every corner of his empire. He called back fleets that were conquering distant worlds. He activated experimental weapons that had never been tested. The largest military force in galactic history began moving toward Earth. But while the Emperor prepared for war, something wonderful was happening across the galaxy. Captain Jake Morris received a message that made him smile for the first time in weeks. "Captain Morris, this is Commander Lisa Chen of the Centauri Republic," the message said. "We have been fighting the Empire for 50 years. Your victory gives us hope. We want to help Earth in any way we can." More messages arrived every day. The Vegan Alliance sent ships filled with advanced weapons. The free colonies of Alpha Centauri offered their best pilots and engineers. Dozens of worlds that had escaped Empire control were coming together to help humanity. Admiral Lisa Grant realized that Earth had become something bigger than just one planet defending itself. She called a meeting of all the free world's leaders. "Friends," she said to the gathered representatives, "Earth's fight has become everyone's fight. We propose forming the Free Worlds Coalition. Together we can end the Empire's reign of terror forever." The coalition was formed within days. Earth would provide military leadership and quantum disruptor technology. Other worlds would contribute ships, soldiers, and resources. For the first time in 3,000 years, the galaxy had a real chance to be free. Engineer Katie Ross worked day and night to share quantum disruptor technology with the coalition forces. She taught engineers from a dozen different species how to build and use the weapons that could break Imperial shields. "The Empire's biggest mistake was staying the same for so long," Katie explained to her alien students. "They never improved their defenses because no one ever fought back before. That's why our new weapons work so well." Dr. Amy Foster made an important discovery while studying captured Imperial computers. The Empire's communication network connected every Imperial world and ship. If they could hack into it completely, they could shut down the entire Empire at once. "It's like a giant spider web," Amy told Admiral Grant. "If we cut the web in the right place, the whole thing falls apart." President Ryan Clark made a decision that surprised everyone. Instead of waiting for the Emperor's attack, Earth would strike first. The coalition fleet would attack the Empire's main military base before they could launch their final assault. "We can't just defend forever," President Clark announced. "It's time to take the fight to them." The coalition fleet was amazing to see. Human ships flew alongside vessels from dozens of different worlds. There were sleek Centauri cruisers, heavily armed Vegan battleships, and fast Alpha Centauri fighters. All of them carried quantum disruptors and were ready to fight for freedom. Captain Jake Morris led the attack fleet toward the Proxima system, where the Empire had built their largest military base. The base was protected by hundreds of ships and orbital defense platforms. It seemed impossible to defeat, but the coalition had a secret weapon. Katie Ross had built something new called the Quantum Storm Generator. It could create tears in space itself that would destroy anything they touched. The weapon was dangerous and had never been tested in real combat, but it might be their only chance against the Empire's strongest defenses. "Remember," Jake told his pilots as they approached the enemy base, "we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every free being in the galaxy." The battle began with a surprise. The Imperial defenders were not expecting an attack. They thought all the free worlds were too scared to fight together. They were wrong. Coalition ships poured quantum disruptor fire into the Imperial defenses. Ship after ship exploded as their shields failed. The Empire's weapons could not stop the new technology that Katie Ross had shared with everyone. Emperor Drakthul himself arrived in his personal ship, the Eternal Conquest. It was the largest and most powerful vessel ever built, covered in weapons that could destroy solar systems. The Emperor was confident that no weapon could harm his ultimate warship. "I will crush these rebels myself," the Emperor declared. "They will learn why the galaxy bows before me." But Captain Jake Morris had learned to think like his enemy. He knew the Emperor was proud and would want to fight personally. Jake had prepared a trap using 3 coalition fleets hidden behind nearby planets. When the Eternal Conquest attacked the main coalition force, Jake's hidden fleets struck from 3 sides at once. Even the Emperor's mighty ship could not fight, in all directions at the same time. The battle reached its climax when the Emperor tried to use a planet-destroying weapon against Earth itself. The weapon could reach across space and crack worlds apart from thousands of light-years away. Jake made the hardest decision of his life. He flew his ship, the EDS Defiance, directly into the path of the planet-killer beam. His ship was destroyed instantly, but the weapon was damaged and could not fire again. Katie Ross activated the quantum storm generator at the same moment. Space itself tore apart around the Emperor's ship. The Eternal Conquest, pride of the Imperial fleet, was pulled into the quantum storm and destroyed completely. Emperor Drakthul's death marked the end of 3,000 years of galactic tyranny. Without their supreme leader, Imperial governors across the galaxy declared independence or were overthrown by their own people. The great empire crumbled in a matter of days. Admiral Grant stood before the newly formed Galactic Council, representing hundreds of free worlds. Earth's simple ban on Imperial ships entering their space had grown into a galaxy-wide movement for freedom and democracy. Today marks the beginning of a new age, Admiral Grant announced. Never again will any single power be allowed to enslave entire civilizations. The quantum disruptor technology will be shared freely among all peaceful worlds, ensuring that tyrants can never again threaten our freedom. Dr. Amy Foster wrote the final report on the war. She noted that the Empire's greatest weakness was not their old technology, but their belief that others would always submit to fear. Earth had proven that courage and determination could overcome any enemy, no matter how powerful. The galaxy entered an era of peace and cooperation. The Free Worlds Coalition became a permanent alliance dedicated to protecting liberty and justice. Earth's quantum disruptor technology was shared with all member worlds, ensuring that freedom would always have the tools to defend itself. And in space stations and classrooms across the galaxy, children learned about the small blue planet that dared to say no to the greatest empire in history, proving that even the smallest light can drive away the darkness.